Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Dave Munson, the owner of Florida Ceiling in Makato, Minnesota. Dave, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thanks, Kemp.
Good to talk to you. We were together last week in Minneapolis at the Floors and More meeting. We'll get to that in just a minute. But before we go there, let's talk a little bit about your background. You actually grew up in this business, and you're second generation. Your parents had a flooring store in North Dakota, right?
Yeah, I grew up. My parents actually had two stores, one in Bismarck in North Dakota and one in Dickinson, North Dakota. So I grew up sweeping the floors and loading trucks and all the good stuff.
Okay, and what ended up bringing you to Makato?
Well, I went off to college with the idea of being a banker, and after I graduated from college, the opportunity in Mankato here presented itself, and my father called me and said, I think it's a good idea. I think you should get into the business. And about 2 weeks later, I was running a store.
Okay, all right. And you have one store there. How's it segmented? Are you mostly retail, residential replacement, or what sectors do you serve with your store?
We service all sections, really. We have a strong retail business. Mm-hmm. We also do a lot of builder work and commercial, multifamily, apartment replacement business. We kind of hit all the market segments.
Okay. And another role that you've served is you're actually chairman of the board of the organization called Floors to Ceiling, which is bigger than just your store. I mean, it was somewhat of a buying group, right?
Well, I was actually chairman of the board of a company called Preferred Brands. And
okay.
Preferred Brands was an umbrella company. Part of what we did there was operate the franchising for Floor to Ceiling, which now has been sold off to Floors and More, and the Floor to Ceiling stores are part of the Floors and More group right now. Preferred Brands also has a separate business entity that it continues to operate in real estate-owned marketplace.
Okay. And that real estate-owned, just a little bit more clarification on that, that's basically bank-owned, which means distressed properties that might need some rehabilitation. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Talk about, catch us up to speed with Preferred Brands and Floors to Ceiling. Tell us what that organization was like a year or two ago, and then now the benefit of being associated with Floors and More.
Okay. At Preferred Brands, we started out as strictly the franchisors of Floor to Ceiling. Uh-huh. During the downturn in the economy, we sought to expand and diversify our operations, and so we got in the REO business, and that became very successful for us. And so much of our focus was placed upon that business. And as that grew, it became evident that it was probably a good time for us to exit the franchising business and try to find a good landing spot for the Floor to Ceiling dealers where they could be serviced by someone that was 100% dedicated to the idea of growing their business and making their business more profitable. And that's where we found Floors and More in Berga.
Okay. Now, and how many members and how many stores are there in the Floor to Ceiling franchise group?
I believe there's 52.
So 52 owners or 52 members, and about that many points of distribution as well?
Yes.
As I said, I met you last week. It was it was the first meeting where Vinny was hosting both Big Bob's and the Floor to Ceiling membership. So give us a couple of highlights from that meeting, if you would.
Well, it was an exciting meeting, to say the least. It was really great to meet a bunch of new dealers in the Big Bob's members, some really outstanding dealers in that group. And so it was fun to interact with them. It was really great to see the energy and the passion that Vinny and his staff displayed. It was pretty much contagious, and I believe that everyone in the conference was ignited by the energy and passion that they had. And you can't help but get excited and renew your own commitment to your own business.
Yeah. And he actually has some fairly aggressive plans for this organization. I mean, he wants to grow it rapidly in the next couple of years, doesn't he?
Yeah, isn't that exciting? He's got very aggressive plans, and he's backing up with programs that were just outstanding. Mm-hmm. It's amazing the amount of progress that they've made in just the short amount of time since they purchased the Floor to Ceiling group.
Yeah, one of the most, I guess, noteworthy items is it looks like he's going to spend a relatively sizable investment in digital marketing, and he's aligned with the Creating Your Space team, and everybody that's a member, whether you're a Big Bob's or a Floor to Ceiling member, you get basically a new and free website. Then you can buy into different packages that give you all kinds of support when it relates to digital marketing, right?
That's right, and that was a real exciting part for me, not being real well versed in the world of digital marketing and social media marketing, having experts in that field available, dedicated to help us with that was real exciting.
You know, I sat in a couple of breakout sessions, and I heard some of the members, the Florida Ceiling members, and they've got, a little bit, they got a website, they got a little something going on, but this is going to be a game changer, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the great things that Vinny brought to the meeting was a vision of where the floor covering business is going in the future, and how the way we've operated in the past may not be the most successful way to operate in the future, and gave us it was a real paradigm shift to look at where we should be and where other industries and businesses are moving their marketing dollars and the benefit that they're able to get by doing so. And it's time that we do it as well.
Yeah. And another key thing it looks like he was spending some effort on is in private labeling, and he was rolling out several programs where, both carpet and hard surface, where there were going to be unique displays and products from key vendors that were going to be special just for you, right?
Yeah, that's exciting, too. The idea of private labeling is something that I know has been on the minds of a lot of dealers in our group, and getting back to the idea of private labeling will only help their profitability and competitiveness in their markets.
Now, prior to this relationship with Floors and More, Florida Ceiling was mostly a Midwest organization, right?
Well, we had stores in California, Virginia, Florida, so we were scattered all over the country, but predominantly the majority of the meat and potatoes, I guess, of the number of stores that we have is in the Midwest, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, and that's why the meeting was held in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, well, I appreciate you spending time with us and catching us up on this meeting and getting me talking to Dave Munson about the Floors and More meeting last week, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.